and I'm sorry you were there. And then we didn't go to that school the next year.
Yeah. I mean, that was our Sunday school experience. I mean, I hated it. I'd cry and scream and had to wear that stupid outfit. We'd go to this, Mom would sit out in the car and read a book while we had to go to Sunday school. They wanted to expose us to this. And I hated it. I hated the kids there. They didn't like me. I didn't know any of them. And pretty soon the pastor, he found out that Mom was out there reading a book and not going to assembly. Started bad-mouthing her in front of the congregation. Yanked us out of preschool so fast. And, you know, I mean, that should have been the first indication that, yeah, maybe that whole idea. But you know what blows my mind is how many people buy into it. I mean, you know, I have my opinion, you have your opinion, but I mean, just the devoutness to that, you know, at such a young age and an impressionable age, and it's this good thing for other people, and I think that's great. But I just can't understand the appeal that it has to that many people.
I remember hearing someone tell me that it was religion was a crutch for the weak-minded.
Huh.
And it made a lot of sense to me at that time. And I hold that a little bit true. But I also think that if you find the right-minded people, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Now,
and I think it has its place.
It definitely has its place.
Scenarios.
Now, I'm not going to be a devout believer and fellowship guy in any one particular church, and for Christ's sakes, I'm not going to be like a evangelist to anyone. But I think there's that spot to where it has its place and it has its value, and the purpose of religion, I think, is for fellowship. I think it's to get people together for like-minded reasons.
A club.
And absolutely. And to get things going in your community and to get to do well, to do good things around you. And for that reason, I don't knock any religion.
Nah.
I just don't want to be a part of it.
Exactly. Because, I mean, I would feel like a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I can't go along with that. I mean, I don't believe anything of that. You know, what they're preaching, I believe what they're doing. And as far as religion
I'd much rather be a Boy Scout.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me find another thing to focus my attention and everything into. Can we meet weekly on Sundays for trail restoration?
Yeah.
Can we do something else?
Something that's more
productive,
relative, and not in the abstract.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like death, you know, people need a place to go.
Yeah.
Hey, awesome. But you know, it's like you ever read that hear that George Carlin skit about breaking the 10 commandments down into 2? You ever heard that?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Oh.
No, I guarantee I have. Because I have every George Carlin literally right there. Every George Carlin album is somewhere in that. I have him on album.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing how he breaks 10 commandments down into 2. And it makes so much sense. And
it's do good or do bad.
Always be respectful to thy nookie, and try really hard not to kill anyone unless they pray to another god than you do. Or another invisible man in the sky than you do. Those were the 2 commandments that he came down to, and he just lumped them all into those 2 things. Like one of his things is religion has never had a problem with murder.
No.
If that person's praying to another god than you are,
absolutely,
it's all good.
Every religion is the same way on that. on that token.
I know, right? And
every war has been roughly based on that rule.
It's absolutely crazy. And then he said he's like, you look at the Inquisition, the Crusades. I mean, it's completely nuts. As far as how far people will go for that idea. I think that, and I think people, they get carried away with something greater than themselves.
I'm much more reactive to a George Carlin, bless his soul, has been dead now. Now I think he can be a saint. I am so much more now attuned to the Catholic religion because now they can take George Carlin as a saint.
Yes.
And if they take him and his teaching as a saint and the guilt is gone,
yeah,
I will do some Hail Marys.
You ever hear what he should worship? He says the sun.
Yeah.
We can see it.
Like we used to.
It gives us life.
It gives us seasons.
Yeah.
And we can totally map it. It makes sense. We know when it's angry. We know when it's sad. We have a summer. We have a winter.
Yeah.
And we have in between. And we have the solstices. Yes. No, George Carlin was great about totally breaking stupid shit like that down.
Yeah. He was, and made it funny, and I mean, God dang, it made so much sense. God, that guy, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
it's like the planet. He talked about the planet. Planet Earth's fine. The planet Earth is fine. It'll be here long after we're gone. He said the people are fine. He said maybe the Earth would look at plastic as just one of its children. People had to be made to make plastic for the earth.
Yeah. I like it.
He's good. That's funny, like George Carlin.
Oh, shit. I literally have I have four of his albums bought. And then I had 2 albums that I found at a thrift store in Shoreline that I didn't have. And the power went out. It was like this December. I was in there shopping. And the power went out. And they wouldn't let me check it out. I'm like, I have 2 albums. They're marked for 99 cents. I'll give you a $5 bill if you let me leave right now with these 2 albums. And they wouldn't let me do it.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, we'll put your name on it, and we can do it when the power comes back on. I'm like, I'm not going to be in Seattle in the next 3 days. All I want is these albums. I'm giving you $5 for $2 worth of albums because they were marked at 99 cents. Yeah, no, I'm a George Carlin freak. I love, he's my favorite comedian.
Yeah, he's good. Original material. He definitely had a
and
style.
And smart. And
yeah, and that's the
he
appeal.
twists things.
Yeah.
He totally has that different way of looking at shit.
Absolutely. And it's like he sees through things. For what they really are. And I mean, I think there's a lot of respect for that.
Yeah. Prior to, how long were you teaching?
I taught for 12 years.
12 years?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit!
I mean, I wanted,
You're my age, right? You're class of 96?
97.
97?
Yeah, 39 right now.
So
A few months will be 40.
So you taught for that many years before you went into.
Well, I tell you what, I
had respect.
I had that idea, and I mean, it was so powerful. It's like, I got to do this. This is mine. I'm going to make this happen, for better or worse. I don't care. This is me.
When did you do that? When did you make that decision?
Good question. It was when when I went out to a river. Kind of a funny story. I started out, the first ones I did were on canvas. I had this canvas I stretched. It was this big, great big canvas. And when it gets wet, it tightens up. So I'm out there on the Swaddle River. And I'm out there and I'm hitting it with my fly rod and matching the colors. And I knew that was a concept I wanted to follow. And it was tough. It was a tough go. I mean, I didn't know, there's definitely been a learning curve with this. I mean, I've developed my own easel.
Yeah.
Where I used to just have like one of those easels you'd buy at Michael's. And it's on these like stilts. But man, you miss your cast and your line's wrapping around a leg and it's like, oh my gosh. The wind picks up, it'll blow your whole easel over. So I built this easel that was just an A-frame out of wood. And so that when the wind hits it, it'll now actually drive it into the ground instead of like blow it over. And the other thing is with an A-frame, you can heat up the middle part. Because when you're out in the wintertime, your acrylic paint is going to drip. So you want to have a warm surface that it hits. So the first one I built was out of wood. And since then, after I almost burnt my easel up a number of times, which would heat it up and it gave me the information that I needed, I've now developed a metal one out of aluminum. So I can put my painting on this aluminum backing and then heat it up like a stove. And
have you ever documented your how-to?
Nah. It's a pretty personal thing.
It's your thing. You're not ready to give it up yet?
No, it's not that. I mean, I'm an open book, and if someone wants to do this, I mean, bring it. If you want to challenge me, bring it. I would love.
I just love it because it seems to me like you got this amazing artwork that you totally document your. I want you to document your achievements because this sounds like amazing work.
Well, I mean, it's just a learning curve. I mean, it's you try something out, it doesn't work, and
that's how progress happens.
But it's like what that Rod Zulo said to me. He says, if you're the only one doing this, after a while, you are the authority on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, whoa. And one of the ideas, too, is like originally I start, like, I'm really going to cast a fly. Turns out that, when you're casting a hook, it's a waste of time. You're snagging up, and you're wasting time. Your flies will be destroyed. When you have that spay rod and you're flinging it, it's about 80 miles an hour that you can hit your Lexan with. And so I broke it down to where I don't use flies. I use the material used to make flies, which is pieces of yarn. And then I can just regulate the yarn as my the tip of the brush, which that's another thing about fly fishing and painting being the same thing. And that was the one thing. I knew there was three, but this is the one. Is for years painters have been using or fly fishermen. Flies have been a piece of fur or material tied onto a hook to emulate a fly. Painters have been doing the same thing. They just put that piece of fur or material on the end of a brush. And that's why fly fishing and painting are the same thing. So I take it one step back and look at the material as far as what you make flies with to be painting with that. So as far as painting and fly fishing being the same, that's another big key.
Shit, they're right there.
To it. Yeah, I mean, it's the... So anyways, trying to explain that, in a matter of like 30 seconds when I meet someone, it's kind of a challenge. But
it's a lot easier when you have an hour and a half.
Yeah. So the learning curve, I mean, there's definitely one. And I embrace it. The anticipation like when you say you start a podcast, you know, you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
You know, but you're here for the ride.